Today, we are cracking open a seriously powerful toolkit, the kind innovators use to take on huge challenges and turn them into brilliant, real-world solutions. So let's get right into the framework that makes it all happen. You ever wonder about that? I mean, think about the apps on your phone or the products you use every single day. Where do they come from? Was it just some random lightning bolt of genius, a flash of inspiration? Well, it's rarely that simple. The truth is, most great ideas aren't just found, they are meticulously built. Yeah, they come from a deliberate, thoughtful, and, you guessed it, structured process. And you know what the best part is? This kind of powerful thinking isn't some secret reserved for a chosen few. It is absolutely a skill that anyone, and I mean anyone, can learn and master. Okay, so let's get specific. We're going to dive into a framework from the International Baccalaureate's Middle Years Program, or the MYP. It's called the design cycle, and trust me, it's a seriously powerful way to structure your thinking, to create solutions that actually work in the real world. But hold on, before we jump into the nuts and bolts, the step-by-step, we need to get our heads in the right space. Because when we say the word design, what are we really talking about? It's so much more than just making something look pretty. At its absolute core, design is all about empathy. It's a human-centered process, which means it always starts with understanding the people you're trying to help. Think of it like a bridge, It connects that first creative spark to a real innovation that actually makes someone's life better. All right, so with that human-centered mindset locked in, let's finally look at the framework itself. The MYP design cycle is basically the blueprint that's going to guide you all the way from a fuzzy question to a tangible, finished solution. So the cycle has these 4 interconnected phases you see right here. But look, the most important thing to get is that this is not a straight line. Not at all. It's a loop. You are constantly going to be circling back to earlier stages as you learn new things, refining your ideas as you go. That's what iterative really means. It's a cycle of constant improvement. So, the first half of this journey, it's all about thinking before you start doing. This is where you have to resist that massive urge to just jump straight to a solution. Instead, you're going to focus on really deeply understanding the problem. Let's break down these first 2 phases. Okay, phase 1 is pure detective work. Seriously, you're given a case, and your job is to find the real problem that's hiding in plain sight. You're going to be asking why over and over again. Why does this problem even exist? Who is it really affecting? And, do they even want a new solution? So what you'll do is justify the need for a solution, you'll research what's already been tried, and you'll pull all that intel together into something called a design brief. Just think of the design brief as your mission statement for the whole project. It's that one document that keeps you laser-focused on the goal. Okay, problem defined, mission statement written. Now, it's time to open the floodgates of creativity. This is the big brainstorming phase. And listen, don't worry about perfect ideas just yet. The goal here is quantity over quality. You just want to get as many potential solutions on the table as you possibly can before you start weeding the row. Here, you'll create something called a design specification. It's just a fancy term for your success checklist, what a winning solution absolutely has to achieve. From there, you'll sketch out a few different ideas, you'll argue for why you're picking one, and then you'll create the detailed blueprints for how you're going to build it. Now, what's really, really cool about this whole process is how it grows with you. I mean, take a look at this. It shows how the expectation for just one little task, that design brief we talked about, gets more complex over time. In year 1, you might just present the main findings. Simple enough. But by year 5, you're expected to deliver a super detailed brief that summarizes a deep analysis. See, the framework scales with your skills. So we've done all the thinking, now it is time for the doing. The second half of the cycle is where all those plans become a reality and where ideas get put to the test. This is where things get hands-on. This is where you finally get your hands dirty. You take those detailed plans from phase 2 and you actually build a working prototype. But it's not just about, hammering nails or coding. It's a real test of your technical skills, your time management, and your ability to keep track of the entire creation process. So you're going to build a solid plan for your time and resources. You'll show off your technical skills, and you'll follow that plan as best you can. But, and this is so important, you also have to document and justify any changes you make. Because, let's be real, no plan ever survives contact with reality perfectly, right? So just because you've built something, that doesn't mean the job is done. Not even close. The final phase is all about evaluation. You have to step back and ask the tough questions.
Did this thing actually solve the problem we started with? And how does it stack up against that success checklist we made way back in phase 2?
This means you're going to design real tests to get hard data on your solution. You'll measure it against your original specs, you'll figure out where it could be better, and maybe most importantly, you'll reflect on the actual impact it has on the person you designed it for. And that final reflection, that's what kicks off the next loop in the cycle of innovation.
So that's the whole cycle. But you might be thinking, okay, why should I care about this if I'm not in an MIP class? Well, let's talk about the real-world payoff, because it's huge.
The main takeaway here is that this cycle literally teaches you how to think. This isn't just about jumping through hoops for a school project. It's about building a mental model you can apply to any complex challenge that life throws at you, giving you this awesome mix of structured logic and creative freedom. And this slide really shows you how these skills prepare you for whatever's next. I mean, it doesn't matter if you're going into a STEM field like engineering, or the social sciences like public policy, or pretty much any modern workplace. This problem-solving toolkit is absolutely essential. It's the foundation for everything.
You can think of your journey with this cycle like a progression. You start with these guided design challenges to build the basic skills. It's like learning the ropes. But the goal is to move on to tackling those messy, complex, real-world design problems, where you have the freedom to truly innovate for a real client. Okay, let's just boil it all down. First, great solutions come from a process, not just dumb luck. Second, this 4-phase cycle is your roadmap to get there. And third, the habits of constantly iterating and reflecting, those are the skills that will set you up for success no matter what you end up doing. Because ultimately, this cycle isn't just some theory to learn, it's a tool to be used. It gives you a whole new lens to see the world, to spot what's broken or what's missing, and to actually create meaningful change. So, the only real question left is, what problem will you design a solution for?